Greetings, I'm Professor K, and in this short video presentation, we're going to take a look at OWASP, Open Web Application Security Project, Top 10 of Vulnerabilities for 2021. So, what is the OWASP Top 10? A list of the top 10 web application vulnerabilities, as determined by data and by survey. This is determined by OWASP and the security community at large, released every few years, most recently released in 2021, and first released in 2003. Now, if you're taking a certification exam from any vendor, whether it be CompTIA, whether it be Certified Ethical Hacker, whatever the vendor, you're going to be queried on OWASP Top 10 of vulnerabilities. So you do need to know this. You also need to know the vulnerability from the list that was generated in 2017, because it takes them a while to get caught up. And here we have the list of the top 10 OWASP vulnerabilities for 2021. Starting from the top, we're going to go all the way down to the bottom, and we're going to take a look at each one of these. And we're going to try to understand how they made their ranking in the list, as well as who had the input. In my new course for cybersecurity certification fundamentals, we're going to be going through a lot of these vulnerabilities here, and I'm going to have a lab that's going to associate with each one of these different vulnerabilities, or most of the vulnerabilities in this list. And so we're now ready to break down each one of these vulnerabilities and get some more information about what they're all about. Let's go ahead and start off with A01 and A02. A01 2021, Broken Access Control, moves up from the 5th position to the category with the most serious web application security risk. The contributed data indicates that on average 3.81% of applications tested had one or more common weakness enumerations, CWEs, with more than 318,000 occurrences of CWEs in this risk category. The 34 CWEs mapped to broken access control had more occurrences in applications than any other category. Alpha 02 2021 Graphic Failures shifts up one position to number 2, previously known as Alpha 3 2017 Sensitive Data Exposure, which was a broad symptom rather than a root cause. The renewed name focuses on failures related to cryptography as it was implicitly before. This category often leads to sensitive data exposure or system compromise. Now, that's something that you might be asked on a certification exam. Continuing on, Alpha 03 2021 Injection. This slides down to the 3rd position. 94% of the applications were tested for some form of injection with a maximum incidence rate of 19%, an average incidence rate of 3.37%, and the 33 CWEs mapped into this category have the second most occurrences in applications with 274,000 occurrences. Cross-site scripting is now part of this category in this section. Again, that might be a question you could see on a certification exam. Alpha 04 2021 Insecure Design is a new category for 2021, with a focus on risk related to design flaws. If we genuinely want to move left as an industry, we need more threat modeling, secure design patterns, and principles and reference architectures. An insecure design cannot be fixed by a perfect implementation as by definition. Needed security controls were never created to defend against specific attacks. Alpha 5 2021 Security Misconfiguration moves up from number 6 in the previous edition. 90% of applications were tested for some form of misconfiguration with an average incidence rate of 4.5% and over 208,000 occurrences of CWEs mapped to this risk category. With more shifts into highly configurable software, it's not surprising to see this category moving up. The former category for Alpha 4 2017 XML External Entities, XXE, is now part of this risk category. So why do you have to know the top 10 for 2017 and 21? Well, because on the security exam, they might ask you a question such as, which of the following vulnerabilities are part of the OWASP top 10? Those are the type of OWASP questions you might see on a certification exam, regardless of the vendor. Alpha 06 2021 Vulnerable and Outdated Components was previously titled Using Components with Known Vulnerabilities and is number 2 in the top 10 community survey, but also had enough data to make the top 10 via data analysis. This category moves up from number 9 in 2017 and is a known issue that we struggle to test and assess. It is the only category not to have any common vulnerability and exposures mapped to the included CWEs. Alpha 07 2021 Identification and Authentication Failures was previously broken authentication and is sliding down from the second position and now includes CWEs that are more related to identification failures. This category is still an integral part of the top 10, but increased availability of standardized frameworks seems to be helping. Alpha 08 2021 Software and Data Integrity Failures is a new category for 2021, focusing on making assumptions related to software updates, critical updates, and CI/CD pipelines without verifying integrity. One of the highest weighted impacts from Common Vulnerability and Exposures Common Vulnerability Scoring System CVE, CVSS data mapped to the top 10 CWEs in this category. Alpha 8 2017 Insecure Deserialization is now part of this larger category. Alpha 09 2021 Security Logging and Monitoring Failures was previously Alpha 10 2017 Insufficient Logging and Monitoring and is added from the top 10 community survey, number 3, moving up from number 10 previously. This category is expanded to include more types of failures, is challenging to test for, and isn't well represented in the CVE/CVSS data. However, failures in this category can directly impact visibility, incident alerting, and forensics. Alpha 10 2021 Server-Side Request Forgery is added from the top 10 community survey. The data shows a relatively low incidence rate with above average testing coverage, along with above average ratings for exploit and impact potential. And so here you see what's changed from 2017 to 2021, and you see how 2017 has moved around into the top 10 category for 2021. Again, you're going to have to know both of these for the security exam, regardless of the vendor, because it's going to take a while for them to finally get caught up and update their questions on the exam for the OWASP Top 10 for 2021. And so before we get out of here, here's one word of warning that you have to understand and appreciate about taking a certification exam. I don't care if it's cybersecurity or if it's a Windows certification exam. You need to go out to the internet and you need to research and find out what has been seen on these different exams, what you need to study for, and what you can expect to see when you sit down in front of that monitor to take your certification exam. Now that's what I did, and that's how I came up with this information about OWASP Top 10. Everyone who's talking about taking a certification exam says this is one of the topics that is going to be tested heavy on those different vendor certification exams for cybersecurity. And so, in summary, the OWASP Top 10 does not cover every web application security vulnerability. The Top 10 is a fantastic foundation on which to build an application security plan that also considers the needs of the application and the organization. And so I'm Professor K. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.